YouTube is Upside DIY. I went out and there's actually two little snails in here, a water bug, but I went out and got some more fish. These fish are pretty, they have two tops, they have two top fins, and I got around 50 of them or something. I actually used the green net, like I said, and I just basically spent like an hour and a half with the net and a plastic cup like this, big gulp. And the ones that I would keep, I would actually set, scoot them out and put them inside of a water bottle. And sometimes I would just scoop them out and then walk with the net and put them inside of a deeper part of the water. So when I was out there, I also walked down the creek. I found another pretty much pool, and then I found well, that was after the main pool that I want to go to. It was sitting kind of directly in the sunlight within the creeks, and it basically dried up over the weekend. So probably 100 or 200 fish. The birds probably just ate them and stuff like that. They'll just fly down. But these fish are pretty gross. But maybe they'll grow up and look nicer. But when they flare out their top fins, it's like two sharp fins. I think they use it for defense, for when getting eaten and things. They can actually puncture, and things like that. But they don't usually swim with those out and things, but when they get excited and things, they will actually show them. And it's a weird, you don't see it inside of aquarium fish. These are just wild creek fish. I would show you guys as close up as possible to some of them. At first I had like 8 little small ones. They look pretty nice. I only brought like a plastic cup and a container like that, and I only got like 10 or 11 the first time. I also fixed the HOB filter. I put some filter floss on there with a rubber band to help give the water more surface movement and things like that, so that the water and even I had to put them inside this aquarium rather than a tub or even this larger aquarium, because I don't have an extra air pump right now that I could just plug in. I actually have to set up the air pump that's sitting up there. I actually have to set that up and fix it up and things, which shouldn't be that hard. I'm just gonna have to glue and sand it up and glue it, and then just get the main connector for it and things. But having the air and pretty much a filter it's going to help me, and with that filter being protected, no little small fish are going to get sucked in there anymore. So I got home. It was like a 2-hour trip home, because they just took a little longer for the bus. I went to a doctor's appointment before that, and then the creek's pretty much right by the doctor's office, so I got to get this, and I use this kind of to filter out all the bad water, and then just dump the clean fish pretty much in there. And now they're just pretty much cleaning up. They're gonna get a little more relaxed, because it's only in September, like 16th, and it won't rain until a long time. And I think one just passed away or is having a hard time, kind of in the middle right there. flopping around, so I'm gonna have to net that as soon as possible. Just probably hurt itself pretty much. But yeah, it's gonna happen, and maybe a lot of them are gonna pass away. I'm not 100% sure. But it's trying to get back on its you know, these could almost pretty much sorry. But yeah, I just have a lot of them now. I need to keep looking at that fish and probably just yeah, I gotta, you know, pretty much see you know, if any problems are happening and things. With the first couple of fish, they survived, or a few fish, they survived over the weekend, and that was a pretty good sign that the water was cycled. This water in this aquarium was pretty much sitting in there for like a month or two. You know, even when I had the or I started filling it up, you know, with the goldfish in this front aquarium. But yeah, I had to put the sponge over there because that air pump likes to move a little bit over in the area. So there's a lot of good surface area movement. These fish swim, you know, at the bottom, top. You know, there's quite a few of them, so there's always going to be something to swim with and things. I've been doing some research about this larva that grows inside the pond. They're like, the name starts with a C. They're like Kanzi larvae, but they come out and then, you know, after they use up the water and the pond shells and things, they actually turn into grow some wings and things. But these things would kind of probably you know, they had to survive with those and salamanders. And okay, I kind of see the bad fish right now. You know, one or two is always going to just pass away, you know, just for some reason. To that's what happened in the first few that I had. Yeah, the snails actually went up into like you know, this corner where some broccoli and there's some. I had a little bit of watermelon, like right when, you know, it was pretty fun watching them travel and climb the glass and trying to get to that kind of food and things. Besides that, you know, I do have some meat and things towards the back right there that they could actually try out. I'm gonna have to. These fish mainly eat like algae. You know, sometimes fish will only live for like 1 year. They don't even eat much or anything. They just go out and you know, they just want to breed and then pretty much die and things. Animals that die after giving birth actually don't eat for some reason. I don't know how that happens, but they're pretty picky at things. But there's some grapes in there, you know. Like I said, these aren't, I mean, these are creek fish. They're not like you know, tropical fish store fish. And you know, in some creeks out there, and you know, there might be some really good, clean, nice fish, but these didn't turn out that way. Most of the time those places have good just good water parameters. You know, it's cleaner water, and basically you know, whenever there's like some fish and small larvae, or you know, the water is pretty much clean enough. And that's, you know, and if you know, you go creek fishing and get a net like I did, you could probably net like 40 or 50 fish in a good sized net. If you find a drying up pool, and a lot of those pools are dried up. There was one, like I may have mentioned, that probably had like a bunch of these fish, and over the weekend that water pool just dried out, and so I got to walk down a little further, and then I found another decent place with some good fish. But the main big pool that I showed you guys in my Wildcat Canyon video, or Wildcat Creek video, it basically I was scooping out fish and putting some fish in that too. So yeah, they get trapped inside of some pools and they don't really do that great. So I'm gonna have to net this fish out and hopefully put it inside this dirty water bucket. Yeah, I think I netted it and I put it back, or put it inside this bucket. So right now I can actually so there it is. It's not really swimming that great and things. I'm gonna dump this anyway, so hopefully I can probably try to use these snails. They tend to you know, get at the vegetation and things. I think they want to try to get in there. But back to just showing, you know, probably at least 50 fish that I got, you know, out of the creek. And I did free up some, but you know, I got one big net full that had, you know, just a bunch of them. So that's pretty much, you know, most of that. And then it was pretty easy. It's just you know, when they get a little larger, or you know, things happen and things, they're not really that great of looking fish. They're just creek fish. They have two top spines that pretty much, you know, are made for you know, pretty much poking, you know, maybe, you know, for thorn like puncture, if they're just really spiny fish. But you know, I had to use this aquarium because I don't have my other, or my main, or my big air pump, or you know, my tubs or anything aren't set up yet. I'm working on those. I actually, you know, don't want to get too much stuff anymore, because I'm kind of running out of space and have to manage yeah, but you know, they should be okay, because it's a much better aquarium. You know, in probably 1 week they were, you know, most of them were going to be dried up and stranded without water. So you know, it was a pretty bad life, most of all. And then, you know, just having myself kind of rescue them pretty much, so that they can enjoy a little bit more. They'll actually have a decent story and things to manage. Yeah, so things are pretty cool. I just have to watch out for maybe the snails and try to give them some type of purpose and things. But you know, I put the little filter floss on the filter so that, you know, they don't get sucked up in there. Then, but there's always, you know, the first day or two, there's always going to be one or two that weren't really as strong, or may have been injured during, you know, the initial pouring and things. So that's pretty good that not a lot of them were really injured and things, or so these kind of remind me of like barracuda, or you know, I just don't know. So I'll just see you guys on the next video. Have a good day. Bye.